or the way that she does them.
She takes some figuring out sometimes.
Yeah, she takes some figuring out. In the after the episode, Angela Kang says Carol sees things that other people don't always see the same way or aren't capable of seeing in that way. And I think this is kind of an example of that because, you know, there's tension between her and Aaron that she hasn't helped out with the wall and she's off on her own mission. And I like the reference back to season 5. Daryl and I went down that road before because that was a big character moment for Daryl, was kind of settling into Alexandria, being led by Aaron and kind of working with him to try and get this kind of wild horse to kind of try and lasso it and take it back, and they don't succeed with that, and the horse I think gets eaten by a load of Zeds.
Right. Okay, yeah, I forgot what that was about. Yeah.
I think we also get to see Daryl enthusiastically eating some spaghetti in that episode. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the scenes with her and Magna were interesting because Magna, I think, is being, I've just realised this is a pun, magnanimous, because she's obviously one of the people who was most fucked over by what Carol did in the mines, but she's going out of her way to show forgiveness and to comfort her and to give her a hug and to be like, you don't need to do this. But she is quite stern with her about how she's being with Kelly and giving her that false hope, and obviously that doesn't really get through to Carol. Yeah, so it was cool to see 4 female characters out doing a task together that they accomplish and that has some beautiful cinematic moments in it. But obviously, because it's The Walking Dead and because of the world that they all live in, that's undercut with this very bleak scene of Carol having to kill a horse so that everyone can eat. To which all I can say is, where's Sherry when you need her? Because I don't think she would have found it that difficult.
I'll get the horse. Again, bang, bang, bang.
She's like, what's next? And yeah, my final note is just Carol washing blood off her hands forever, because I feel like we see this quite a lot.
Oh, there she is
but
again.
It's like, oh look, where's Carol? Oh, she's scrubbing blood off her hands out back. All right, cool. Yeah, tell her her horse is ready. So yeah, I was vibing with Carol's decisions in this episode. I can't really criticize her for them, and yeah, it was a quiet storyline, but I enjoyed it as sort of character breathing room for Rosita, for Magna, for Kelly. I thought Magna and Kelly are just lovely. I love how enthusiastic Kelly gets about the animals. I think Angel Theory is just such a really electric performer to watch. Magna, I think, is just lonely. I mean, their group's kind of been really splintered. We don't know where Luke is at the moment. He was supposed to be at Oceanside, but Oceanside are
where
folded
is he?
into the other communities now. I think he might be filming Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But in the show, I do not know. And yes, Rosita finally mentioned Abraham, because I realised the other week, like, we never talk about the fact that Negan also killed... You do. You mention Abraham. I'm very bad for not mentioning it. So it was interesting. I wonder if we're building up to a Cudlit's cameo when she talks about dreaming about him.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
I'd love that.
Yeah, so kind of the Carol's Choices / women arc is cool.
Yeah, Luke would make a good babysitter to have music class.
Oh my god. That's just, I mean, yeah.
It'd be great.
I would have a baby with, I mean, around, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds lovely. I think that's a really good idea. That's all I'm saying.
About, you mentioned the horse thing got undercut, but before that, it was a nice feeling when they brought the horses into Alexandria and you could see everyone's faces light up because they needed a morale boost, and that was a nice moment.
It felt like in Lord of the Rings when the eagles turn up and everyone's like, the eagles are here. Only in that version of Lord of the Rings, Frodo then like slits the throat of an eagle and they have a roast for dinner. So yeah, maybe not.
Just one of them. Though.
Just one of them.
Okay, well, my number 1 is some head scratchers, and
brilliant.
It's just a few things I was either confused by, and maybe you can help me with, or just felt like, I don't know. I don't think this really makes sense for this character.
Let's do it.
I think this one is more confusion, and maybe I've forgotten something, but I didn't understand what the standoffishness between Kelly and Magna at the beginning of the episode was about.
It felt really profound. Yeah. But I didn't really understand it either. I think maybe they've disagreed about still continuing to look for Connie.
Is that what it is? But have we seen that?
No, we haven't seen it. This is me completely inferring. Yeah, it felt very, like, at one point I was like, did they hook up? Like, did I miss something? Like, I didn't really understand.
Magna's like, well, how come you didn't want to do your shift with me? And Kelly is seemingly avoiding her or distant, and Magna's, do you want to talk about it? And Kelly says, there's nothing to talk about. And I'm like, oh, maybe she's being sincere about that. There is nothing to talk about because I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I'm just like, this conflict has gone over my head now. Like, right, I don't really get it. Yeah.
Maybe listeners can help with that. And the thing about Aaron, like Carol not helping re-erect one of the walls, she had a shift she didn't show up for, and Aaron's upset, and there's a little bit of conflict there, but I'm not sure. It was a weird disagreement to focus on. I didn't quite get the point. Was it that Carol doesn't respect Aaron's authority, or that Aaron doesn't want her being reckless, or I just didn't really understand what that was about.
I read it as like, Carol, you need to stop going off on your own and doing your own shit. It's really annoying. Like, we need you here. But I'm also like, fully aware of the analogy I'm about to use. That horse is bolted. Like, you're not getting Carol to like fucking come and do things on your terms. Like, yeah, it felt oddly strained, I have to say.
And a good leader there, I think, would say, hey, she's really passionate about this mission. Let her go off and do it. We could use the horses.
Yeah, exactly. Although maybe Aaron was like, I have a feeling you're going to kill the horse. He's like you're not going to bring it back. Yeah, no, I agree. It seemed quite strained.
Yeah, it was a little bit forced or something. Let's see. The whole thing about Magna telling Carol to stop giving Kelly hope that Connie could be alive, I guess that made sense. Magna's being protective of Kelly, but didn't then Carol just take Kelly out to try to find Connie right in front of Magna right after that?
Yeah.
I guess that was just like a big F you.
That was a bit of a dick move. That was a little bit. I think as well, the reason that fell flat for me a bit is, it is so silly, but we, as the audience, we know she's not dead. So it's like, we're just like, okay, like, we can't take that seriously. Whereas I feel like if we thought that Connie was still dead, we'd be like, or Connie was dead at all, we'd be like, oh my God, yeah, she's right. Maybe that is cruel. Right. But because we're like, nah, it's fine. Carol figure it out. Connie's around. Yeah. I mean, she's stuck with Virgil, which some might say is a fate worse than death.
I thought the Reaper with Gabriel, he says, I thought you were a man of God. And he says, God isn't here anymore. But in just this episode earlier, Gabriel was saying, Lord, you are my refuge and my strength. So I was like, is saying God isn't here anymore just a cool quip to say before you kill someone? Or is it an inconsistency in the character, or a sign that he's confused about whether God is here? Like, when he's ready to kill someone, he doesn't think so.
I think this is like dark Gabriel. I think this is like, I control who God is here and isn't here for. And I kind of like that, but that's my reading of it, and I don't know if it's correct. It
just seemed a little inconsistent. I did actually read an interview with him. It's not in the news because I didn't have time, but it was just before we started recording, and he said something about, well, when he was praying earlier, he didn't hear God, so he then decided God wasn't here. But I feel like that's something the actor made up to try to make sense of us. Two scenes that conflicted each other, but I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
I don't know. And then, I guess all the other stuff we've talked about, Negan and Maggie, I had a bunch of stuff, but we already talked that out. So that's it for my points.
Great. I don't have many notes. Gabriel is really intense these days, and I wonder if we're maybe heading towards him not surviving or having some kind of big standoff, especially because the Reapers seem to be so tied in with religion.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of on my mind as I'm looking at it. Yeah. And he and Rosita are both kind of being brought to the fore a little bit more, which is great. Yeah. I'm loving having them both back. I'd forgotten how funny Rosita can be because she's quite dry. Like when she's joking about Coco only tripping on mushrooms for a week or whatever. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, Carol's like, no, not unless you want Coco tripping the light fantastic. Oh, it would only be for a week.
Yeah. Only a week. So yeah, I think Gabriel, I don't know. I think we might be in line for some intense Gabriel because like you say, he gets a very bleak comic book ending, and I'm wondering if that will be mirrored.
Yeah, and it's the last season, and I imagine that some of the big characters won't make it to the end.
I mean, yeah,
right.
they've got to.
You think
they've got to lose some? I mean, yeah, they've got to lose some of them. I think it won't be impactful if we don't lose a couple. Negan being sensible. Just in this episode, I know theatrics. Those people showed us just how batshit insane they are, and I'm like, yeah, it takes one to know one. I suppose you did like the theatrics. I enjoyed his very over-the-top reaction to the candy, which must have been disgusting by that point.
I didn't know what that was. I was like, was he eating cardboard or?
It was like candy or a cereal bar. I was just like, it's not worth it, mate. Like, don't do that.
That's funny.
His little sarcastic line of just going to go towards the screaming was, yeah. Cool. And I thought the music in this episode was really good. It really stood out to me when I was rewatching it. I thought there were some really nice musical moments in it, especially with the horses and the more upbeat stuff.
But the horror music got me too. I think it really amped the tension.
Yeah, so those are my notes.
The only one I had left, you already mentioned it, but Rosita's having dreams that Abraham's telling her something she's supposed to do, but she can't hear him, and then he gets shot. And I feel like that's got to play out somehow. It's not a one-off thing for her to mention something like that.
No, other than to just remind everyone that Abraham existed. But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, maybe he's saying, I thought you were the last woman on earth.
You're still not. You're still not.
And then it's her that's shooting him.
I just shoot him in the face. I just shoot him right in the face and he shuts up.
To untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
There's a new World Beyond trailer that came out. I don't want to spoil it.
Yes.
But it shows a character that we know, and I thought it was really interesting. So if you want to see that, go to YouTube and check it out.
It's a very stabby, bangy, hitty trailer, but it's quite good.
Yeah, it'll be a much different season, I think, because last season they got to where they were going. So now we'll get to see what happens.
I felt as well that the trailer, without getting into specifics, revealed quite a lot of things that we might otherwise have been wondering if they were going to happen this season. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into that. There is we're going to have to figure out what to do about that, by the way, because
we have crossover,
overlaps with the last 2 weeks of The Walking Dead. I feel like we should do full Walking Dead coverage and then maybe just do a quicker World Beyond segment for those first 2 episodes, but I don't know.
I think we see how good it is.
Yeah, right. What it deserves and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, there's a new anthology horror series coming to Netflix, headed up by Guillermo del Toro, called Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, and Andrew Lincoln is going to be in an episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
It's a horror anthology. So there's H.P. Lovecraft adaptation, H.P. Lovecraft, and then there's original work and 2 stories by Del Toro, and there's episodes directed by Jennifer Kent, who did The Babadook, and Vincenzo Natali, a favorite of mine. He did Splice and Cube, and there's a bunch of others, and I think Andrew Lincoln's in the one directed by Jennifer Kent.
We really liked The Babadook when we covered it in the off season.
Yeah, so I'm
nice. Okay, I'm excited. I like Guillermo del Toro, so that sounds good.
It won't come out until next year, sometime next year. So we'll keep an eye out for it. And last, I was contacted by this company that makes the Sexton single malt Irish whiskey, who have partnered with AMC, and through 22, they're going to be the official whiskey of The Walking Dead. So they're going to be putting out ads. I saw an ad with like a zombie hand holding a whiskey, and they had this Walking Dead cocktail kit that includes a bottle of the whiskey and like some Walking Dead themed accoutrements, a coaster set, a shaker, glasses, and ingredients for this Walking Dead themed cocktail that includes blood orange something or other.
I'm glad you added Oren.
But when I looked at the site where they were selling that kit, cocktailcourier.com, it was already sold out. So I don't know if they're going to make more of those, but they are supposed to do more products like that over the next year or so. And if you bought that kit, or if you just buy a bottle of the Sexton whiskey, you can like scan a QR code and there's exclusive Walking Dead content, I think featuring Norman Reedus and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So
Wow.
I like whiskey. I think they're going to send me some. If they do, I will let you guys know how it is.
I will drink it online and give you detailed notes. I'll try not to be too offended. Try not to be too offended that it's Irish and not Scottish.
I know.
It's fine. It actually sounds really good. I'm just looking at the website. It's sherry cask aged, which is very nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's really awesome.
I really got into whiskey when I started getting into these. They did a whole, I think, set of 9 Game of Thrones whiskeys based on the different houses. And they came from the reputable distilleries in Scotland. And
they really did.
Some of them are so good.
Yes, some of the unexpected ones as well, because they did a few distilleries that don't often do like a big single malt release did for the Game of Thrones thing, and there were a couple that were really unexpected but really tasty. That was a really good round actually.
My favorite is the Greyjoy Talisker, which has notes of like salty seaness and stuff like that.
Talisker is my favorite place in the world.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, you go. If you ever come, oh my god, Jason, we should go to Skye when the show is over. We'll go to Skye because it's on Talisker Bay. Is like right on the corner of the Isle of Skye, and they have this amazing distillery that just smells of peat. And there's a cute little coffee shop there. And then up the hill, you can get like fresh crab and lobster at this little like lobster shack. It's the best place in Scotland.
Right. It's on my
Everyone
bucket list. Go. I don't think Americans are allowed to go anywhere right now, but at some point, I would love to do that.
At some point, do it. And also, if you're into wild swimming, it's a good wild swimming spot, Talisker Bay. So
neat.
That's my advert for Visit Scotland. Go to Skye.
All right. That's it for the news. Let's get into Lister Moans, Groans, and Grunts.
I'm just looking at the recipe for that cocktail. It looks really good. Okay. Wyman Owen. Hi, Wyman. I really liked it. As I was watching and Maggie was walking towards the mall, I was thinking an open world Walking Dead game would be sweet. Best walker so far this season, burnt to a crisp walker. Alden and Maggie should have more scenes together. I enjoyed the conversations. And yes, Negan, we always run towards the screaming. Good episode overall.
I gotta say, I think my favorite Walking Dead game, there's been a few, some not so great, some really good. Well, my favorites are the Telltale ones with Clementine. Those are amazing. But another really good one, if you have a VR setup, is Saints and Sinners, because you're looking around and the zombies are coming towards you and you got to figure it out. So it's really great.
Oh, that would stress me out.
Yeah, it's a bit like, especially if they get to you and start eating you, it's like, oh, close my eyes.
Oh no.
All right. Angie Hill Reynolds says, started out suspenseful in the stairwell with Maggie and then very slow after that. Meh.
Pam Patrick says, Carol and I share a similar past, so I really relate to her. I was sure yelling at the TV though when I knew what she was going to do. The kids' scenes were great. Love seeing the future. Thank you, Pam.
Gemma Hall says, love this episode. I've watched it a few times. The opening sequence with the music and slow motion moments was intense and scary and got rid of most of them. I was on tenterhooks fearing for Alden the entire episode. I think he's great and he took on Beta last year, so mad respect from me. I forgot about that. I don't remember that. I gotta look at that up. I'm glad it was Agatha who got the death. Sorry. The Maggie and Negan dynamic is fascinating to me and I love watching it unfold. I think Gabriel has totally left the church now. He's so far removed from the priest we found cowering on a rock calling God for help. Ironically, that Reaper is calling to God and Gabriel strikes him down with no mercy, as he tends to do lately. The horse sequences were beautiful and gorgeous to watch. I should have known with Carol it would end badly for one poor horsey, though. But I get it. They got to eat. The Alexandria kids are also adorbs. 10 out of 10.
Aww. Tammy Barr says, this episode was scary. I needed the horse storyline to calm my nerves down.
Jessica Howe says, I just hope I was wrong about Alden last week. I don't remember what she said, but I presume it was that he didn't have long for this world.
Cynthia Gamble says, so far the season is off to a good start. I'm one of those 2 million diehard fans, and I am so excited about loving the show again. Angela Kang has done a great job. That opening scene was straight out of a horror movie. I am thinking too that Maggie may be bad somehow or has done something bad. Why does she think that the group she's with now will fare better than the group she was with before at Meridian against the Reapers? Apparently not, because there are only 4 of them left now, maybe 5, and how many did they start off with? And of course, her and Negan end up together, which could get interesting. I hope Alden doesn't die. For some reason, I like his character. That's because he's nice. I even thought maybe he and Maggie may hook up. It's time she found someone. Here, Cynthia, but not Negan.
Please.
In case we haven't made that clear.
Alex Vandiver says, I love the contrast of the horror of the Reaper storyline and the beauty of the horses and the ladies working together to corral them. The shot of the horses running was gorgeous. Sad that Carol had to put one down, but I like the scene with the kids and Herschel saying better than eating spiders. Ick. Also, Magna was just beautiful in this episode.
Alex, I completely agree. She's so great.
Yeah.
Gary J. Hewitt, my prediction, as we mentioned earlier. After Maggie told her grim story last week about being emotionless after seeing the horrific sights in the house and only caring there might be food, maybe those Reapers didn't attack Maggie's group, but she attacked the Reapers and they are just out for revenge. Also, all those dead horses? Is Sherry close by? Too soon.
The actress who plays Magna is Nadia Hilker, and I did a couple of conventions with her, and she's the type of person who just pays attention to whoever she's talking with intensely, and you feel like you're really being listened to. That was what I noticed about her, which is always great.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Ben Woods says, this episode was fantastic, so exciting and nerve-wracking. I was on the edge of my seat. I really enjoyed the horror themes in this season so far. That's what the first few seasons of the show felt like. I can't trust Maggie at the moment. She really seems like she's up to no good. The poor horses. Are we right to assume the Reapers did that or someone else? Wonder what horse meat tastes like. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, Jason and Lucy. That the Reapers did what? I don't know what he's talking about. But to the horses. I mean, it was a little confusing to me because that horse seemed like it was sick. And she was putting it out of its misery, but I don't think so. I think she was just calming it down. And then when I hate to spell it out, but when she cut his throat, it seemed like it would have made it more of a fuss, you know?
Yeah. I think Ben is maybe talking about there's a scene, I meant to mention it and I didn't, where they're down by the river and there are a few horse corpses.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was Zed's going by the way the horses were munched, but it wasn't clean. Like there was still bits left, and you can't imagine Zed's leaving them. But I don't think it was the Reapers. But maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know.
Christy, sorry, that's such a Scottish thing. Christy Coppedge says, "Oh my god, you guys, I am stressed out. I think Maggie might be a Reaper and that opening was fucking epic. Something is fucking going on and I don't like it. Now, I do not want her to be, don't get me wrong. It seems like she led them into a trap. And not that she hasn't been super badass forever, but damn, she seems to be able to fight and get away from these guys. People who were apparently crazy fighters before the apocalypse. I don't know. I hope not. But something is up and I'm worried/excited. Love to and don't get bit. P.S. Series finale party. I'm going to email every week until you mention it. Sincerely, Kirsty Coppedge, a new patreon.com contributor. Thank you, Kirsty.
Thank you, Kirsty. I mean, yeah, people, I think maybe because Jason Miles of Talking Dead mentioned that, and then we said it that, you know, Maggie might be a Reaper. But like I said here, it seems pretty clear they're enemies. Maybe there's some thing with them that maybe she was the initial aggressor or something like that, but here they're both trying to kill each other, so she's not one of them. I don't see how they could make that work at this point.
99.9ish% that they're not together,
yeah.
But who knows
When you're like you and someone else are desperately trying to kill each other, it pretty much means you're not friends. I would say.
That's today's lesson. That's your Sesame Street takeaway.
That's one to grow on. Claire Lang-Redderer says, "Hi, friends.
Yay.
This is my favorite episode of season 11 so far. 11 has been great, not perfect, and I'm confident in this current momentum and storyline. This Maggie and Negan matchup has been built up so much that it has not disappointed, especially in this episode. Lauren Cohan and JDM have such good chemistry and play so well off each other. It makes me feel like I'm watching Rick and Michonne." Oh man, don't say that. Two intense characters in an intense situation. I'm not suggesting romantic chemistry by any stretch. That would be ridiculous. Although Negan must be attracted to Maggie on some level, but he knows better. The only reasonable response to any romantic gesture from Negan would be for Maggie to kick him in the throat. While Negan is just plain fun and interesting to watch, Maggie is a stoic, tough as nails badass. I'm excited to see the two of them alone and forced to depend on just each other. Jason and Lucy, you're knocking it out of the park, and I can't wait to experience this last epic season with you, my friends. God bless and don't get bit.
Oh, thanks, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
I think Negan does call her like the hot widow or something at some point. I'm sure there's a reference to it in earlier seasons. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, Claire.
yeah, absolutely. All right. He always does admire people who are strong too. So there's that.
Yeah, let us never forget the socks and latrine trench sex with not Magna Alpha. I don't know why I just brought it up. I'm sorry, everyone.
I thought you wanted to forget that.
Yeah, I did want to forget that.
Okay, let's move on to calls. Here's Sydney.
Hey guys, this is Sydney calling about Hunted. I'm about halfway through the episode, and I guess my initial thoughts are I loved the kids playing cards. I think they promised us a Michonne return. I mean, otherwise, why would they focus in on RJ talking about how his mom comes home? I love the scene with all of the ladies like getting the horses rounded up in the pen. I kind of want to go live on that farm in the zombie apocalypse. Some of it's kind of slow, like them walking through the woods, Maggie and whatever his name is, who's Alden. So I'll just rely on you guys to tell me what the dialogue there was about. But I mean, what is this Maggie thing, guys? I think this is the third week I've called and said the same thing. She kind of returns home. She's only been about a day's walk from where she, grew up. She's been gone for 6 years. She comes home, kind of drops off her son at Alexandria, takes a group of our guys, and like leads them into a forest with dead hanging bodies and then like a burned Judas corpse. It's selfish. All right, I'll check back in at the end. Thanks. Bye. I said I would check in at the end of the episode, and I don't have like a lot more thoughts. I mean, I hope Alden makes it. The preview for next week with, kind of like Daryl being a lone wolf looks pretty awesome. Look forward to it. Can't wait to hear your show. Thanks, Gal. Bye.
I mean, I just think it's one of those things with Maggie that when you think about it from a higher up perspective like that, it does seem a little crazy. But she came back because she got that note about the whispers and everything from Carol, and she discovers everyone is starving, and they talked about what do we do, and they had no options. So she came up with the option, well, I know where there's a lot of food, it's protected, but they did the whole breaking into that army base in the premiere of this season, but that was only enough food for a week. So I think it's as simple as that. Like this, even though it's not a great option because the Reapers are there, it's the only thing that they know to do to get some food.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I agree.
All right, here is the live Steve for the week.
Steve.
Hello, Jason and Lucy. This is Steve, and this is for Hunted. The previously on, we get to see C. Thomas Howell again get the arrow to the head. Wow, that was a quick scene there, and I don't know how many cannon fodder we lost. Oh, buttons. That was so long ago. This little card game. I can't wait to hear what Lucy thinks about RJ. Yeah. That's his only contribution to the scene. Yeah. Oh, and the return of the ninja walker. How long was she on that little stairwell level and it didn't attack her? This musical score while they're trying to get the horse is really cool. Whoa, that's cold, Gabriel. God isn't here anymore. Oh, and another person we barely got to know goes down. Agatha. Aw, there's Coco. I was wondering where she was at. So, I'm unclear. What exactly is the plan now? You've lost you've lost most of the fighters you brought with you. You're not going to be able to take Meridian. So, are you just going to get the supplies from this house and then go back? I don't know. All right, can't wait to watch the next one tomorrow morning. Talk to you later.
How are they going to carry all the supplies, by the way?
Oh, God, no. Get one of those wheelie baskets.
I guess so. That was a good one. This is kind of shallow, I guess, but I'm also sad to lose Agatha just because Agatha is such an interesting name and it would be fun to have a character called Agatha for a while.
In my old improv troupe, that was one of my fellow improvers' default name. We all tended to have a default name that we would give to things, and yeah, Agatha always turned up as a character. So I appreciated having an Agatha on the show. It is a good name.
What was your default name?
I always struggled with names. I was always like, Lucy. I'd be like, oh no, that's my name.
Good improv.
And then we all just started using Agatha. And then we were like, oh, we need to, we need to think of a new one.
All right, next is Renee.
Renee.
Hi guys, this is Renee from Atlanta. Well, I'm gonna stop saying Renee from Atlanta and say Renee from Fairburn because I live on the outskirts of Atlanta. And hi, Robin from Georgia. I know you said like an hour away. I stay like maybe 30 minutes out of Atlanta. I stay in a little country area in Fairburn. I love it out here. It's so nice and peaceful. But yeah, tonight's episode was kind of boring. But I don't know. It's like our people cannot catch a break. We have not had time to breathe from the Whispers war, and here comes the Crazy Reapers. Like, I just don't like it. And I like Alden. Lucy, I know your husband said that Alden is self-righteous or whatever. I love Alden. I really do. And I feel so bad, and I hope that he's still in the church when they go back. I really do. I hope that the Reapers do not get him, or that he turns to a walker, that he dies and turns to a walker. Because I like Alden. And poor Horace. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I know they had to do whatever to survive, but poor little horsey. Oh, so sad. And the kids having to eat the horse. I don't know. It's an apocalypse. I guess little Herschel said he ate spiders, so yeah, I would eat spider, snake, whatever to survive. I guess I don't know, but it's just the little horsies. But tonight's episode, yeah, it was kind of boring, but hopefully it's going to pick back up. I really am over all of these other people anyway. I just really want to concentrate on Alexandria. Really, I want it to be over with. So my boo, I'm ready to see Rick Grimes. That's really why I'm hanging on. I love The Walking Dead, but it's getting kind of played out. So I need for them to hurry up so I can see Rick. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Can't argue with that.
Oh, Renee. Can't argue with that. She speaks the truth.
I like how she started out with a message to another listener. That'd be funny if we ended up just like playing messages where listeners are talking to other listeners.
It'd be like a missed connections column. I love that.
All right, here is one from Karen Shee.
Karen.
Hey, Jason and Lucy, it's Karen Shee. I thought I'd leave a voicemail this time. I really liked this week's episode. I thought it was pretty strong. It started off intensely with that Reaper attack, and then we got that cool abandoned mall set piece that reminded me of Rick in the pilot going down that darkened stairwell. Just some really cool horror vibes there. And I like the theme of trust and of lying to oneself or lying to other people that went throughout the episode with Negan and Maggie, and then how the Alexandria team had to gain the trust of the horses, and that horse should not have trusted Carol at all.
No.
But, dire straits. And that's another reason why I like this episode, because the B plot line with the horses and Alexandra really emphasized why Maggie's pushing so hard at any cost to finish her mission and bring food back to Alexandria. I love seeing the kids. I was curious that this episode and episode 1 kind of made references to Michonne. So does that mean that Denai Guerrera will be back at the end of the series, hopefully? Yes?
I really hope so.
They didn't talk about Rick.
Another thing was how Maggie blamed Negan for destroying everything that they built. She's talking about Hilltop, of course, but another thing I think she's talking about is in season 6 when Abraham was asking Glenn about pouring the Bisquick. Glenn replies, "We're trying to build something, me and her," talking about Maggie and him and her pregnancy. So, Negan destroyed their nuclear family that they had planned. So I thought that was interesting too. Yeah, I thought it was a strong episode with good writing at the end with Alden. But I wonder what Peter thought about that little scene. So I hope you guys are having a great week. Love you, and bye.
Oh, love you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Oh, Karen's great. If you haven't listened, we had Karen on to talk about Minari in the off season, and it was a really lovely episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some of you guys might skip those, but if you're ever in need of something to listen to, I recommend going back. And that movie was incredible, and Karen was awesome talking about it.
And you do kind of get to see Glenn have a nuclear family. So if you're looking to fulfill that, that's a good way of doing it.
True. All right. Here is Mark Nichols.
Mark.
Hey guys, it's Mark Nichols. I hope you're having a great Labor Day. Just one more thing I wanted to call in about is the intro. I noticed that the bodies hanging upside down are in the intro now. Was that there before? Was that an Easter egg that I didn't notice? Or was that something new this week? Just something I'm curious about and see if anyone else saw it, pointed out. Hope you're doing great and love the show.
I didn't notice.
Yes, dog is on the credits.
Dog is in the credits?
Dog is in the credits. Yeah, little dog.
Awesome.
He turns up. Yeah, I meant to mention it a couple of weeks ago and was like, no. But yeah, they've changed. There have been some subtle changes.
Cool.
So it's nice to see.
Look into that.
Yeah.
And last, we have a little more time today, so I've been hanging on to this one, but Seth, Ethan, and Logan have been continuing their rewatch, and they finished season 8, so here's their take on season 8.
Hi, Jason, Dr. Lucy. My name is Seth, and I'm 12.
We just watched the season 8 finale. I'm Logan, and I'm 11.
This is the end of the war. Also, my uncle wanted me to talk about how Rick didn't kill Negan. I think he was wrong about that, because Negan's, brought him so much pain in the past. So, yeah, I would have killed Negan if I was in his situation.
I don't think that Rick could have, if he did, I would think that's the wrong thing to do, because in Carl's vision, Negan was there. He didn't really state where he was, so I guess Rick is still kind of doing it.
My favorite part of this half-season finale is when we found out...
It's the season finale.
The half season, thank you, Logan, was when they tried shooting the guns and they realized they were bad bullets.
I also liked that part, but I liked when... What was it again? When Eugene was hiding in the ash pile. That was cool.
My uncle asked if Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 was going to start getting better. I don't think it is, because I don't really like Fear that much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Fear either, but maybe it'll get better. It probably won't get better from last season, because last season, he said, was one of the best. Yeah.
It might get better now because there's a character from Walking Dead. Maybe it'll carry the show.
Ayo, Morgan.
I feel like they're going to like at least the first half of season 4 and maybe all of it better than they've liked the show so far.
I think, yes. I agree with that. And I think they all have they've got good taste, these kids. These people. I like it. It's always great to hear from them.
It's good to hear from you guys. I would love if you would, next time you call, just kind of let us know in general, are you happy that you started down this journey of watching The Walking Dead? Do you consider it a great show, or is it just, or not? I'm just curious what your general opinions of the show is at this point, since you've seen most of it now.
Yeah, we're getting close to like your overall thoughts and feelings. Maybe we'll need to like interview you about this.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. At the end. Yeah. If you guys want,
at the very
when
end.
you're finished watching all of Walking Dead, we won't make you watch all of Fear if you don't want to, but the main show, then we could have you on for an interview and get your thoughts. That'd be cool.
It'd be amazing. We'll play the piano and all will be well.
With dancing horses.
Yep.
All right. That is our show.